purified, take to devotional service with 4 purposes. A person who is distressed because of material conditions becomes a devotee of the Lord and approaches the Lord for mitigation of his distress. A person in need of money approaches the Lord to ask for some improvement in his monetary condition. Others who are not in distress or in need of monetary assistance but are seeking knowledge in order to understand the absolute truth also take to devotional service, and they inquire into the nature of Supreme Lord. This is very nicely described in Bhagavad Gita 7.16. Actually, the path of devotional service is one without a second, but according to the devotee's condition, devotional service appears in multifarious varieties, as it's nicely explained in the following verses. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता सविशेखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय दे नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining today for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. So these days we are discussing about Mother Devahuti and Kapila Muni's discussion. Here Lord Kapila himself is describing about how to render devotional service to his mother. Like this is a very important topic and one of the main aspect of the Bhakti Yoga, like how to render devotional service. Because devotional service is the only thing that reaches the Supreme Lord. And here, Supreme Lord himself is describing how to please him to his own mother. So this is a very beautiful subject matter and very close to everybody's heart. But with all of your guidance and Guru and Gauranga's mercy, we'll try to glorify this beautiful subject matter for my own purification, though my knowledge is very limited on this. So we see that in this verse, they say it's Kapila Muni saying that there are multifarious paths of devotional service in terms of different qualities of the executor. So the executor can be in the mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness. So accordingly, they have different modes of devotional service, which Kapila Muni is describing as we traverse through these verses. Now, if we see, there are basically two types of devotional service. One is a pure devotional service, which is a Suddha Bhakti. We see among the sadhus and among the gopis, we see that pure devotional service. There is no demand is there. Complete surrender, complete love. Everything is 100%. Everything is an absolute platform. Then there is a mixed devotional service, which is called a Misra Bhakti. So this Misra Bhakti can be of also 2-3 types. The Misra Bhakti, is categorized as Karma Misra Bhakti. Then another is categorized as Jnana Misra Bhakti. Then some acharyas also describe as Yoga Misra Bhakti. So in the Karma Misra Bhakti, the predominant character is the karma. Why karma? Because there is a desire of the fruitive action is there. If I do something for Krishna, I am going to get that in return. Sometimes we see, right, like Durga Puja, Dasara time, those who desire some kind of material wealth, they worship Durga Devi with the following mantra: Dhanam Dehi, Rupam Dehi, Yasham Dehi, then Rupavati Bharyam Dehi. So many demands. Oh, they say that, oh, worship Mother Durga Devi, please give me wealth, please give me this, please give me strength, please give me fame, please give me a strong and a good and beautiful wife, so on. If you see, it's a kind of a shopping cart and you keep on adding one demand like that, one object, like that, the demand keeps on increasing. So they try to please goddess Durga so that they will get these benefits. But if we see that all these benefits are temporary, so our Acharya says that whatever sukha, whatever happiness we get, that is kind of Maya Chapala Sukha. Chapala means, like it's unsteady, like it is jumping, like today it is there, tomorrow it is not there. So this is kind of a Karma Mishra Bhakti. Then comes the Jnana Mishra Bhakti. In the Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Jnana is the predominant. Suppose you can say that Jnana is 70% and Bhakti is 30%. So this is not pure Bhakti. In the Jnana Mishra Bhakti, the desire in the goal is, how I will get liberated. How will I get, with this material knowledge, how will I get liberation? How will I go and merge in the Brahma? So by the Karma Mishra Bhakti, what happens? One gets elevated to the celestial kingdom, like Lord Indra's kingdom or some demigod's kingdom, they get elevated. And by Jnana Mishra Bhakti, one is able to merge into the Brahma effulgence. And then what happens? But in case of the pure Bhakti, it doesn't depend on the karma, it doesn't depend on the jnana, because it simply depends on a pure loving affair between the master and the servant. The servant will do anything for Lord and Lord will happily accept it. There is no demand that, like Krishna, give me this, then only I will supply this food prasadam to you. Because devotee knows that everything belongs to Krishna and he is just an instrument in Krishna's hand. He thinks like that. We see that in scriptures, there are so many examples of this Mishra Bhakti. We see that so many monsters, so many demons are there. They do austerity, they do tapasya. They will be standing in 1 feet, meditating on Supreme Lord. We see like Ravana, like he will be cutting his head and offering to Lord Shiva that, okay, I want these benefits. Hiranyakashipu, we know, like he was doing so many austerities, like millions of years he was like doing austerity, standing on 1 feet. His bones were visible. It was so much austere. Then, Lord Brahma has to come down and give him boon. But the monsters, for these demons, they forget that the boons, whatever these demigods they're giving, that has to be sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because without Supreme Personality of Godhead, nothing can happen. Simple grass also cannot move. These demigods or the devatas, basically, they are the facilitators. So our Srila Prabhupada often says that it is, like if you want some kind of benefit, it is better to approach Krishna than these demigods. Because demigods cannot fulfill desire with Supreme Personality approval. Those who worship demigod, they'll go to the demigod's abode. So demigod planet is basically in the same material platform. They are not in the spiritual platform. They are basically elevated material planet. Like we are in this material planet. So the demigod planet is basically, we can say, that an elevated material planet, kind of a luxury home, we can say, and vacation home. The vacation is over, then you have to come back to your house. Similarly, the demigod planet, we can say that they are basically elevated material planet with additional extra features of happiness. When the piety or our special credit is exhausted, again, we come back to this earthly planet. So in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 7, verse number 16, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, and this detail of this verse also is mentioned in this particular sloka also, like Prabhupada in the purport he has explained it, says that Chaturbitha bhajante mam jana sukritina Arjuna artha jigyasu artharthi jnani cha bharata varsha. He is saying that, O best among the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, which is the artha, the desirer of the wealth, artharthi, the inquisitive, the jnani, and one who is searching for the absolute knowledge. So let's go to these 4 categories. These 4 categories also, like our Srila Prabhupada also, it's very, he has also described in the purport over here. The first one is the artho. Artho means, who is in distress. Suppose there are so many calamities are there. There are 3 folds of miseries are there. Adhyatmic, Adhibhautik, Adhidevik are there. So when people are suffering in that, we see that immediately they call out for the Supreme Lord. Oh, Supreme Lord, please help me. You go to any part of the world, any part, like, whether it is we go to Russia, we go to Ukraine, you go to India, you go anywhere. If they are in distress, what they do? They will call out God for distress. We see in example, the Gajendra's pastime. Gajendra, when he was attacked by the crocodile in the water, and when he saw that there is no chance of his getting out of these clutches of the crocodile, he prayed Supreme Personality Godhead. Due to some pious credit, he could remember that yes, I have to call out to Lord, my Lord. So he called out. Then Supreme Personality of Godhead he came and he rescued Gajendra. The second one is the Jigyasu. Jigyasu basically you can say the Sonoka Rishis, then Sukadev Goswami. So then basically not all of them. The some of them were already enlightened, so we can tell that he is all of them. So these Rishis were very inquisitive. So like they wanted to know more and more about Supreme Personality and Godhead. So they got connected. Now next example is the Artharthi. Artharthi is the common thing we see in most of the cases. Like almost everybody, like like promotion time, hike time, like new job time, passing out from the college, we immediately pray to Krishna. Or otherwise, we pray to Mother Lakshmi. Mother Lakshmi, please give us this, please give us that. There are so many worships, like in Orissa, in the month of Margashira, every woman take bath and they will worship Mother Lakshmi. And South India also, we see there are so many Varalakshmi, Dhanalakshmi, so many worships are there. Basically, everybody wants to worship Mother Lakshmi. That Mother Lakshmi, please shower your mercy and shower your blessings on us. But we see that same Mother Lakshmi, she is basically massaging Lord Hari's feet. She's always, like a devoted wife, she's always taking care of her master, who is Sri Hari. So Lord, we need to understand that Mother Lakshmi won't grant any boon without, if we are not dedicated to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mother Lakshmi basically sees the energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when the devotees, we worship Krishna, we worship them in that mode. So if Krishna is already, blessing us, so Mother Lakshmi will definitely bless us also. We can see the example of Artharthi. Artharthi, we see that a beautiful example is a small boy, Dhruva Maharaj. When he was a 5-year-old boy, some incident happens in his family due to the chastisement of Mother Suniti. He went to forest and he wanted a kingdom which will be, like more prevalent than his great grandfather. So he wanted a more opulent kingdom. So that's why, with Narada Muni's guidance, he started worshipping Supreme Lord. Then the last one is the Jnani. Jnani, it can refer to various people. It can refer to Kumaras also, who earlier has knowledge with respect to the impersonal aspect of knowledge. But from then, what they happen, they come in contact of the Suddha Bhaktas and they somehow the other, they could smell the tulsi leaves fragrance coming out from the lotus feet. And from then, what happened? That they were moved forward and come closer to Krishna. So if we see that, like Prabhupada in this purport has described them as Sukritina. Sukritina means they might have some kind of pious credits in their previous life, due to which they're able to come closer to Krishna. Basically, all these 4 categories, they are not the pure devotees. Earlier, we talked about this pure, like Suddha Bhakta and Mishra Bhakta, right? So these are not the pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange of devotional service. So we see when the students are there, right? The students, like during the exam result time, they will go to Ganesh temple and they will, they will tell that, I have to offer 10 coconut to you if I get 100 mark in math. Like that, like there was a, like demand and supply that, yes, I am going to ask this and Ganesha, please give me this mark. As if we sometimes, like when we are in a materialistic mindset, as if we forget that, like, yes, the lordship, they don't have lordship, like they are dependent on our bhoga and our whatever actually basically we are supplying to them. Just give me 1 minute. So so do we think that, like this money can make these people happy? Are the richest people happy? Are the most beautiful people happy? Don't they have any problem? So definitely nobody in this material world, we cannot say that there is with all these material supplies and the material benefits, they are basically happy. So what makes happiness basically is basically the at the soul level basically is loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because soul's definition is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat, and is eternal. Chit basically is knowledge, and Ananda basically is bliss. So our Radhanath Maharaj always says that only things that matters is to develop our attachment to Krishna. The things that can give pleasure to the senses and to the mind, but only pure love can give pleasure to the soul. So Srila Prabhupada often says that instead of asking these demigods, like this benefit, that benefit, what we can do, we should ask Krishna for this benefit. So what will happen? We should surrender to Krishna in such a way that we can understand that whatever we are doing or whatever we are getting, basically it is a prasad from Krishna. So then next go to the other part of the other part of the verse, which is the pure devotional service. So what is pure devotional service? What is basically Suddha Bhakti? What is basically Suddha Bhakti basically is at the highest platform. And all these four categories we saw that Mishra Bhakti. So Prabhupada also says that all these different types of devotees like Artharthi, Jnani, Jigyasu, and Artha, basically when they basically initially they are coming to Krishna because they want something. But due to mercy of certain, like elevated soul or the Vaishnava, if they come contact with them, what will happen? Slowly they may transform into a first class devotee. Like from Kanishta Adhikari, they can transform to a Madhyama Adhikari, then they can come to the Uttama Adhikari. Now, regarding this pure devotional service, which is Suddha Bhakta, our Srila Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the first chapter, in the 11th verse, he describes that Anyaya Vidasita Sunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anabhritam, Anukulyana Krishna Anushilanam, Bhakti Ruttam. He is saying that what is basically Uttama Bhakti, what is basically a better Bhakti. He says that when a first-class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained from the monastic philosophy and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably, as Krishna desires. He says that Jnana Karmadi Anabhritam. Earlier we discussed about that Jnana Mishra Bhakti and the Karma Mishra Bhakti. But here Rupa Goswami is saying that Jnana Karmadi Anabhritam means there won't be any tinge of Jnana's effect and any tinge of Karma's effect. Basically, no, there will not be any fruitive desire. So in that case, basically what will happen? That we are going to get into the Suddha Bhakti. So in the Suddha Bhakti, then what is another thing? What is the criteria? That Anukulyana Krishna Anushuranam. That means that whatever Krishna desires, we have to serve Krishna in that way favorably. We say that Kamsa also constantly thinking about Krishna, how to harm Krishna. Hiranyakashipu also constantly thinking about Krishna. And we see that Kamsa and Hiranyakashipu, they are basically killed by Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they got to the Supreme Lord's abode. But a pure Suddha Bhakta, they don't want that kind of liberation. Forget about that kind of liberation. A Suddha Bhakta, basically, he doesn't want any kind of liberation. They think that what am I going to do by getting liberation? I am not going to do any kind of service to Krishna. If I am not going to do any kind of service to Krishna, what good is that liberation for me? So the first class devotional service here Rupa Goswami says that when your first class devotional service basically means that you don't have any kind of material desire, no give and take relationship, no knowledge obtained by the monastic philosophy, that by this jnana, basically sometimes like we desire finally that okay, I want to merge into Supreme Brahma. It cannot be like that, and we don't have any fruitive desire. So when these three things are not there, then slowly what happens? We get into the Uttama Bhakti category. In this Uttama Bhakti category, basically what is that? 100% surrender is there. Any kind of calamities come, any kind of miseries come, devotees surrender to the Lord. That's why nothing bothers them. Nothing basically deviates from their path. But till we are not in that category, if we are having some kind of desire, as Prabhupada earlier in the chapter they says that yes, we can worship Krishna for any kind of material benefits. But in a Suddha Bhakta platform or in a pure Bhakta platform, if you see the definition of bhakti, like where definition of bhakti is basically one must be devoid of all kind of material desires. And what is our desire? Our desire basically is to how to please Krishna. Because if Krishna is pleased, all these small, all the animals, all the plants, even the small, insects, they are also getting pleased. We see the example from Draupadi Maharani example. Now, recently, the Akshaya Tritiya went that basically Draupadi Maharani has a pot. This Akshaya Patra, basically he has a pot. So once Draupadi Maharani, Durvasa Muni came and they didn't have anything to cook. So that time Krishna came and Draupadi Maharani fed her one simple morsel of rice. With that, Krishna was satisfied. When Krishna was satisfied, all the sages were satisfied. Not only all the sages, all the animals, all the plants, everybody basically they were satisfied. So basically, whoever is the Suddha Bhakta, the Suddha Bhakta category, basically his goal basically is to how to please Krishna. So we see in the example of Kunti Maharani. Kunti Maharani, Pandavas, Gopis, and we see, they are in the category of the Suddha Bhakta category. In that category, basically, a devotee doesn't want his own benefit. He wants how to please Krishna. Now, what? Here, another thing Krishna, Srila Prabhupada also saying in the purport here. One second. Let's go into the last slide. Actually, the path of devotional service is one without a second. But according to the devotee's condition, devotional service appears in multifarious varieties. So, wanted to share this last line from a pastime of the Ramayana, which you all are aware of, and which basically demonstrates that how Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Ram basically he's taking services from everybody. Like we know that when Mother Sita was abducted by Ravan and Lord Ram is searching for Mother Sita, he's coming and he wants to cross this ocean between Lanka and India. So basically, he basically tried to cross it. Then he did meditation for a couple of days in the banks of the ocean, so that ocean god will give him some space so that he can go. So things happen such, like he's praying for certain days, he's waiting over there, the ocean god will give him some path to go, but ocean god did not appear. So Lord Ram basically he got agitated, he got disturbed, and he got anger. It angered him, and his eyes were basically burning Ram, like molten iron rod. We see that Lord's eyes are so beautiful. We call him Kamal Nayan. The same Kamal Nayan, basically, he was so angered because he has to search for Mother Sita, and his ocean is not helping him in his mission. All the Banaras, all the monkeys, all the bears, or like led by Jambaban, Hanuman, Lakshmanji, Sugriv Nal, Neel, everybody are waiting. So Lord Ram because got little furious, and he told that with my arrow, I'm going to burn this entire ocean. Our Acharya said there's so much heat coming out from Lord Ram's eyes that all the aquatics who were present in the ocean, they were also started crying because the ocean is getting dry. They are not able to basically survive. They're not able to breathe. So everywhere there is, like kind of a tension and, what is going on, what is happening. That time, ocean god appeared and he surrendered to Lord Ram and he asked for his forgiveness and he gave that, oh Lord Ram, please, I'm giving you path and whatever you want, you do. And I can give you path. And I know that with your eyes itself, you can burn me into you can burn me entirely. You can dry out me entirely. So what is actually basically that I'm going to help, and whatever you desire is going to happen. So please construct a bridge on me so that you all can cross. So then and basically you can go and kill Ravana and regain your wife. So please construct a bridge over my waters and spread your transcendental prem. So Lord Ram's soldiers chanting Ram's name and started to fall into the great ocean with the great stones. So some of them are floated. Then they started constructing a bridge. Rama was so that Ram's army can pass through it. There we see that the monkeys and the bears, everybody are taking big stones and putting. There at the shore, there was a small squirrel who was trying to put little grains of sand, and he is taking it and he is putting into with the stones. So basically, this little squirrel, he was also thinking that, okay, I am also going to help in Lord Ram's mission. So when the squirrel basically was rolling on the sand and going across, he was basically coming in the footsteps of certain monkeys. The monkeys are huge. They're taking basically big rocks and they're putting. And some of the monkeys started laughing at the little squirrel. Squirrel, what are you doing? And you are coming in our way and you are, like obstructing us to do the devotional service. I'm not able to do devotional service because if I'm a little bit unmindful, I'm going to step on you and you are going to die. I don't want that to happen. Can you leave us? Can you let us do our work? The squirrel also replied, I am also doing devotional service to Lord Ram. I am also want to contribute some seva. Whatever based on my capacity, I am going to do. So the monkey started laughing. You little squirrel, how much sand you are going to take and you are going to construct this place? Then the squirrel replied, I am going to, roll on the sand. And whatever sand is coming onto my back, I'm going to basically pat it onto the stone. So that when there is a stone, there is between the stones, there is a gap is there, it gets filled. In fact, the sands basically they act as a cement between the rocks in the due course of time. So Lord Ram was watching all these incidents sitting a little bit far away. So after some time, what happened? That somehow the squirrel was coming in between the path of the monkey. So one monkey was basically, he got agitated and he lifted this monkey, little squirrel, and he was throwing out. So when he was throwing out, Lord Ram basically took him and little squirrel and little bit, patted on the squirrel's back. He was totally, taken back by the little squirrel's seva. So Lord Ram, when we see that in India a lot of squirrels are there, we see there are 3 Mars are there. We say that they say that basically these are the blessings from the Lord Sri Ram. So Lord Ram explained, the squirrel also wants to serve to me just like you all, and he's serving to his capacity, just as you are. You are able to lift big stones, and the little squirrel is able to lift little stones or little pebbles. So in my eyes, you both are the same. And besides, I'm the one who is making all this work and all this flow. So we can imagine, we can understand that as the ocean god says that if Lord Ram wants, he can dry out the ocean. He basically give us an opportunity to serve him because he is the one who is basically doing, he basically the cause of the all causes. So the qualification to engage in devotional service is one's sincere desire. It doesn't matter what is our material qualification. The Lord does not require here anybody's material qualification or anybody's service. He just wants to see our mood of devotion. If we see the Ramayana pastime, there are monkeys are there are banaras are there, there are bears are there, squirrels are there, then there are this Koibert pastime is there. What Gurukul they went, how much Bhakti Sastri courses or how much Bhakti Vaibhav courses they attended. Only thing is they did is basically they did the pure devotional service. They had sincere desire to serve. That is enough. Whether it is an insignificant ant or a spider or a squirrel or a great monkey like Hanuman, or how powerful demigod like Lord Brahma, basically what the Lord sees basically is the sincere desire to serve. That is what he considers. Whether you are sincerely serving to our full capacity or not. However great or small capacity that may be. Lord sees that what basically we are giving and what we're holding back. So once in my last trip to Jagannath Puri, I met with a panda. So we were telling that so much donations are coming. Then he replied, the maximum number of donation basically comes from the farmers and the lower class of people. I told, how? Now, basically, they gave whatever they have, 100% they give. They don't hold back anything. But the rich people, they maybe give 10%. But the farmers or the poor class of people, they give 100%. Otherwise, they give 80%. And in the eyes of the Lord, Jagannath, how much you are holding back and how much you are giving, that he sees it clearly. So a poor people, he is earning 10 rupees, can give 10 rupees. And rich people, he could be earning 100 rupees and he is giving 10 rupees. So we can imagine, we can understand from here that what matters most to the Lordship. So the essence of the bhakti is the desire to serve the Lord fully to one's capacity. And the opposite of bhakti is the desire to exploit Lord or Lord's energy. In this case, we see that Ravana, he didn't want to serve Lord. He wanted to steal Lord's energy, Mother Sita Devi, Lord's property. In opposition here, this little squirrel, he wants to serve so that Lord Ram can cross over the bridge to get her energy back, to get his energy back. So this is called unconditional love. What we see in the Ramayana pastime with the small little squirrel, all these animals, we see from them. So with this, would like to end today's discussion. So very beautifully, Srila Prabhupada has explained in the purport here that pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness is one, because in pure devotional service, there is no demand from the devotee to be fulfilled by the Lord. Thank you so much. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Mataji. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. And we'd like to offer our prayers to Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Shri Nrsingo, Jai Nrsingo, Jai Jai Nrsingo, Praladesha, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringam, Ugravira Mahatam, Tam Sarvatobhutam,
Santam Sarito Mita, Narsingha Vishnu Bhatti.
Mitim Nam. Nrsinga Bhagwan ki Jai,
Jai,
Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai,
Let's offer our malabhations to all the Vaishnavas to the Lord. One Chakalpataru
Vanchakalpataru Vasya Kripa Sindhu Bhave, Patitana Pavani
Vaishnava
Vaishnava.
ki Jai Grantha
Jai,
ki Jai Srila Prabhupada
Jai,
Gaur Premanande Hari
Hari Hari Hari. Bol.
Thank you, Persamba. Thank you, Hari.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Hari Bol.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you
Thank you,
everybody.
Mataji. Wonderful dance. Thank you, Hari.